Hey guys, Mike in Taiwan here. I want to talk to you guys about the difference between motivation and distraction. I feel like there's a lot of people, maybe just in my life right now, that I feel like they're just really distracted. Like they'll work on something or they'll talk to somebody for, whatever time that they want. And then after that, they just go ahead and do something else. And I mean, I'm not really a person that needs attention. I don't really care, but, I guess there's ghosting or like whatever. And maybe I'm a kind of somebody that's happened to. I don't really care. I'm kind of like, I feel that people need to kind of be with other people, but at the same time, they don't really need them. For me, myself, there's a lot of things that I can do by myself, but there's also some things that probably it would be better for me to, be with other people and work on those things with. And you might say, well, I don't need anybody, right? But you go to your job and you need your boss. You say, I don't need my boss, but I need my boss to pay me. Well, then that's a need, right? I don't need anybody. Well, do you need your doctor? Yeah, you do. So you got to go out to somebody. But, even then, both of those things are kind of transactional because you have to pay them to go do that job, right? And I'm not saying, you got friends and people that you talk to. That doesn't necessarily have to be transactional, but are they going to be there at the end of the day? I don't know. And what is a friend anyway? I was actually talking to somebody about my experience in Taiwan. And she asked me, has mostly my experience in Taiwan been positive or has it been positive? And I said, yeah, mostly it's been positive. I don't even know what this guy's doing over here. Wow, that's horrible. Horrible driving. That's one negative definitely about Taiwan. This guy old? It's I don't know why I'm so curious about who the driver is and why are they driving that way. Anyway, here's the point, right, is I would say probably for the most part it's pretty positive. I was able to establish a pretty stable life here, and whatever it is, there's some details about it, but I won't get into that. But anyway, as far as the negatives go, can I say that I have my Taiwan best friend who I've always seen for the past 5 years or whatever it is? I'm gonna probably say no. And I don't want to say that people in Taiwan are super utilitarian, but it's well, if I don't need you in my life, then I'm probably gonna get busy doing something else, and I'm probably gonna just get rid of that friendship. Sometimes people block people, but other times people will just kind of fade away and say don't talk to me anymore. And that's kind of a little bit sad, I think, in a way, but at the same time, I guess it does save time. There's a lot of people who will just they want to save time. This is the weirdest thing about Taiwan, right? Is that they'll drive really fast in some speedway or alleyway or whatever where they're not supposed to drive really fast. And I mean, it's not against the law or anything. They'll do something called what's called a rolling stop, which is super illegal in Canada. They'll come up to a stop sign and then they'll just kind of roll and then go through it. And I know that they're trying to save some time, but at the same time, it's super, super dangerous. So there's probably kind of some of a saying in English where people say that, if you slow down to save time, but in Taiwan, it doesn't really exist here. And, they'll let you go by if they know you, maybe pat you on the back and say hi. But if they don't know you, they'll just be okay, well, whatever. You're an obstacle in my way. Quick story, guys. I was over in the MRT in Taipei one time, and there's this guy who was on the left side, and he was just standing there, and on the right side, there was everybody's not moving. And I don't remember what the rules are for that left side, right side thing over in the escalator or whatever, but I was just trying to get by, right? And the guy wouldn't move. The guy wouldn't budge. And he was super, super stubborn about it, right? And I'm dude, I just want to get by, man. Can you just leave me alone? And it's kind of, how can I explain? Taipei is kind of a big city and a small city, even though it's the biggest city in Taiwan. But still there's some people that are around, and maybe they're countryside people or whatever, but they have kind of this small city mentality, which is just a little bit of a bummer because, I don't know. I don't want to say that if they had a bigger view of what cities are and whatever it is, maybe they can move forward with their life, but whatever it is, what it is. Anyways, guys, I'm ranting a little bit, but I just want you to get the point about what I'm saying about motivation versus that. So see you guys later.